Hi, we're Steve and Denise, and we own VanlifeMidlifeRocks.com, a place where you can learn about RV adventures. We've road tripped across North America in our 2018 Roadtrek Campervan, exploring Canada and the US. In our videos, we'll show you how you can enjoy the van life too.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Gascon Lenore. I am a famous French pastry chef. Today, while I am on vacation, I'm going to show you how to bake a chocolate birthday cake using the Coleman camping oven. Okay, so you might have guessed, I am not a famous French pastry chef. You may have noticed that my accent switched from French to German. That is because I am a famous German pastry chef. Of course I am. Today we are going to cook the chocolate cake using the Coleman oven. Right here in the Roadtrek van. Oh, now I sound Asian. This is going from bad to worse. I should not do accents. Okay. Before I get myself into serious politically incorrect trouble with my cheesy accents, I'm just going to drop that and use my own cheesy Canadian accent. Eh? And today I am going to make a vegan chocolate cake from scratch as a surprise for Denise's birthday, which is this weekend.
Surprise, I'm right here filming you.
Oh. Okay, so Denise is in on the surprise, but that's okay. It's still going to be good.
Yeah.
So we are going to bake the cake using this recently acquired Coleman camping oven, which we've already trialed last weekend. Denise made a delicious apple crisp that was a big hit. So before we get started, I'm just going to share with you a pro tip. Forget about making a scratch cake. Use what smart chefs use, cake mixes. Okay, 20 minutes later, I have the oven together. It's just that easy. I'll move this out of the way so that we can see. All right. The burner is lit. It's on high. Then we simply place the oven on top like so, and we wait for it to come up to speed. The oven is on the stove. It's heating up. It's coming up, but it has a ways to go yet. In the meantime, we're going to start preparing the cake. First of all, though, we should probably talk a little bit about food safe. We want to make sure that we follow proper food handling and hygiene whenever we're cooking. But because we're camping, we don't care about any of that. I washed my hands yesterday. Good enough. Let's get going. So, as I mentioned, this is a vegan cake. Denise is vegan, so we're going to have a vegan cake. And that vegan doesn't mean horrible or nasty. It just means that it doesn't have dairy or animal products in it. And they can be pretty tasty. So this is actually called Earth Balance. It is essentially margarine, but it's super healthy, good for you. It's not going to clog up your arteries. And the first thing we're going to do is get about 1/4 cup of it in here. That's about right. And we'll put it on top of the oven and let that melt. Okay, not to beat a dead horse, which is probably not a good term to use when you're doing a vegan cake video. Okay, let me rephrase that. I don't want to go on and on about the fact that this is a vegan cake, but it is a vegan cake, so we're not using eggs. What we're using is Uncle Bob's Red Mill egg.
It's not Uncle
doof.
Bob.
Oh, egg replacer. So this is in lieu of eggs, or instead of eggs, we're using this stuff, which you basically mix with water. Okay, so I've got my 2 tablespoons of egg replacer and 4 tablespoons of water, and it says to whisk it up and let it sit for a minute so it thickens up. Now, I don't have a whisk, but there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Enough!
Oh. Okay, instead of a whisk, I'm going to use a fork. Here we go. So the margarine is almost completely melted, and the oven looks like it's almost up at temperature. We have our earth balance nicely liquefied, and I'm going to pour it to make sure that we get our 1/4 cup for the recipe. Look at that. Look at that. See what I'm talking about? The next thing we want to add
1/2 cup of liquid.
is 1/2 cup of liquid. The liquid that we are choosing is not dairy milk, it's soy milk, which is actually very creamy and quite delicious. One of those, 2 of those. We have all of our liquids whisked together as per instructions. I'm just gonna open our package
With
of
finesse.
cake mix. Oh, that smells like chocolate. Now, the recipe, the cake mix package says, make sure it's combined and uniform, but do not overmix it. We don't have a spatula, so...
Because we're roughing it.
We're roughing it, so I'm going to use a fork. So we actually determined that we're not really roughing it, because in fact we do have a spatula. Looking good, looking good. The oven is at about 300. It's been there for a while, and quite frankly, I don't think it's going to get much above that. So what we might end up doing is just cooking it a little bit longer than the recipe. I keep saying recipe, but let's be real here. It's a cake mix. Don't want to overmix it. I think that's ready to go in the pan.
Did you notice this cake mix is gluten-free too, even though we don't care about that, but
we love gluten.
Gluten's awesome.
I tried to find one with extra gluten, but they didn't have it in a vegan cake mix. I'm making a hell of a mess now. I was being so good. This is where I break down. Okay, we're ready to put this in the oven. One last pro tip. It's never a good idea to sample things as you go when you're a cook. Okay? Just bear that in mind. Here we go. Hey!
It's yummy.
That's my spatula. In we go. Look at that.
Isn't it cute though? It's like a little easy bake oven.
See you in about 40 minutes. We're back. The cake mix is cooking up nicely in the oven. We've got quite a ways to go yet, but in the meantime, I thought I would get started and make our vegan icing. Again, we're using earth balance, not butter, and icing sugar and vanilla.
And some milk.
And some milk. But before we get started, I'm just going to quickly clean the bowl. Because we want to make sure that we don't have you know, any chocolate showing up in our vanilla icing. Now that we have our bowl clean, we can proceed to the next step of making the icing, which is to cream
That
the
bowl
butter.
does not look clean.
It's pretty fun. Now we're going to gradually add our sugar. Okay, that was quite a workout, mixing up the icing sugar and earth balance. And now I'm adding 1-ish tablespoon of soy milk, whatever's left in here amount of real vanilla, not that extract fake shit. This is the real deal. Okay, nothing but the best. That looks just about right.
Here, I'll lick that.
That's what she said. Okay, it's been about 35 minutes and we are ready to pull that cake out of the oven. It's gotten pretty warm in here. I've had to shed a layer. You know, they say, if you can't stand the heat, get the hell out of the kitchen. Although that doesn't really apply here. Or maybe it does, I don't know. But here we go. We're gonna see how our cake's doing. Oh, it's looking, seriously looking good.
That does look good.
That's done.
I think so.
Oh baby, that looks really good.
Let's
okay.
Put it on the picnic table outside to cool. And there she sits, cooling for a little while. Look at that background.
Our neighbors are gonna think that we're like cooking meth here. Okay, well, some time has passed and we've transferred the cake to a lovely plate and it's sufficiently cooled down now that I can apply this delicious icing. Here goes. Now, here's another pro tip. Oh my God. It's good to go. I think I might need another utensil to get it all out of here.
I mean, this is impressive, right? We're camping. How many people bake a cake and ice it and decorate it while they're camping?
You know, your 56th birthday only comes around once in a lifetime.
Well, that would be next year.
Oh, oops. I know, I was just making a little joke. Oh,
Okay.
and Violet thinks it's for her.
Can you hear her whimpering? Look at you, fancy. Still a naked spot right there. Perfect.
D for Denise. Now comes the strawberries.
Yeah, look at that. We could go into business.
Camping cakes.
Yeah.